Okay, so, I'll wait for people to get here. Then I'll explain. Hello, Pori. Welcome back. This save file is someone else's save file. This save file is Hatred Elemental's save file. And I've watched his playthrough of MaGMML2 before. I've also watched Rome Mithrils. They do really good. They're really good playthroughs. One of the reasons why I'm using 100% is so we can use custom costumes, and also so that we can use green nickel mode. Green star mode. So there are a lot of cheats in this game. You can put on air sliding, but we won't do that for this one. I would like to put on air sliding because air sliding is really cool and fun. Actually, Pori, I'll let you make the choice. Do you want to have on air sliding? Air sliding allows you to jump in the air and then slide through the air, and then jump again. It also allows you to slide over the air. Alright, we'll play without cheats. There we go. Mega Man, finally, you're back. I was wondering how long you'd be on that walk with Rush. Was I really out for that long? Not any longer than usual, I hope. Well, it probably felt longer because I'm just so excited. Mega Man, the new festival has officially begun. Wait, there's another festival? Oh, I guess that explains why those tents were being set up then. I'm surprised you haven't heard or seen. This time will be fantastic, though. The festival this time is specifically celebrating the 30th anniversary of your first victory against Dr. Wily. This time they're actually making it a festival, and it's much bigger than the first one. And all this with no sight of Wily. That probably won't last for very long, but might as well enjoy this while it lasts. Because I tried to kill Wily once in Mega Man 7. So, what does this festival have to offer? The whole city has been decorated and set up for a giant festival celebrating robotics and technology. The main show, from what I've heard, is new virtual simulations that real objects can interact with. Tons of people have made their own simulations, all as tributes to your effort, Mega Man. I even heard that there's a beta simulation that can read directly from memories. Wait, what do you mean tributes to my efforts? What are the simulations like? Tributes as in stages, just like your various adventures. Some even made with their own robot masters. So this is a festival full of virtual death traps. Well, think of it as training. You can't die in them anyways, you can try as many times as you like. Tons of people and robot masters from all over the world have gathered here, and it will truly be grand. The festival organizers have organized all the submitted simulations into tiers based on quality. At the end of each simulation, there's an energy element, just like the areas from the last festival. What's more notable is that it's proof of concept you can bring the elements into the real world. If you can get enough elements, I could possibly use them to power a peacekeeping robot of light just like Gamma. Sounds cool to me! Hopefully Wily will stay out of this, but if he doesn't, I'll take care of it. Considering last time, I doubt he'll try anything spectacular either way. The festival's right outside my lab on the far right end. Watch out for tourists, by the way, haha! I've already had to clean up my lab quite a bit to make things less confusing for them. Have fun, Mega Man. Ah, there we go. So there are alternate weapons that you can unlock, potentially. There's Haunt Pumpkin, Badge Barrier, I forget what this one is, N-Bomb. Ori, this is really bad phrasing. The N-Bomb, seriously? There's the Toad Cluster, the yeah, the Toad cluster, I think. There's the Code Distorter, the Force Beam, the Hazard Trapper, the M-Blast. I think it's Magma Blast, I don't remember. There's Carry, C-Claw, S-Jet, etc. So we're not going to talk to everybody, but we'll talk to people occasionally. We're mostly here for the gameplay. And also the end result and stuff. The end bomb from White Man. I wish. That would have been hilarious. It feels nice to have a game that runs smoothly again. Dying lag. Cheat Man. To the cheat menu. So you can go back to the cheat menu here. Oh, right. You can also get info for the cheats. Ah, there we go. Right. So the reason why I want to use custom costumes proceeds to curing Roboenza. So there are a bunch of costumes. There's even a Sonic costume, which I don't recall. Oh, this is cool. It's Knuckles. That's really cool. So I have Dragon Man. Clearly it should have been a shadow costume. That would have been pretty cool if there was a shadow costume. There's Mega Met. There's Mega Pony. There's Model Alpha. There's Naked Snake. There's Rock Mega. There's Sonic again. There's Spike. There's the kid from I Want to Be the Guy. And then there's X. But we're here because we're using Mega Pony. Where's the damn fourth E-Tank? Where's the damn fourth E-Tank? Was that a good shadow impersonation? Also, there's a lot of little details in this game. Thank you, Pori, for the compliment. There's a lot of little details in this game. There are there are alternate fights, there are alternate text boxes, especially if you use certain cheats. There's also randomizers for the levels and also the dialogue and stuff. So we're only going to show off some of these. Magnificent. This is why global warming exists. Less a level, more so a collection of ideas. The main thing that sets it back in its current state is the lack of organization and testing. The level is littered with collision errors and enemies that can easily ambush the player. The ideas themselves, while not the most innovative, would easily find a good place in a level that was constructed more thoroughly, though. Was this level submitted as a joke? The placement of all enemies, obstacles, and solid blocks are placed at complete random, and most of the latter are fake or invisible. It is extremely glitchy, to the point that I can't figure out a way to finish the level without breaking it using weapons. With the exception of breaking this level, there is nothing enjoyable about it. It's irritating, the level design is absolute crap, the graphics are crap, and the level is barely functional. Somebody please wake me up from this nightmare. This is my first level. I'm a natural. If you notice the subtle weaving of the tile set and how delicate each invisible block is placed. Judge? Judge? I think you liked it. First place, here we come. So this was this broken level. This absolutely broken, horrible level. We're not going through that, even to collect green stars. I like that Ace Spark has a good sense of humor. So this one's a little better. Ah, yes, the Kaizo level. This level's better because you can effectively farm E-tanks here by going in and out of the level. Ow. As I said in the first part of this, I am not a good Mega Man player. Nope. For some reason that exists. These levels are not well made. The levels in Tier 1 are not well made. Nope. Messed up. Right. They are very similar in practice. Why am I moving so slow? What is this? Wow, okay. I don't remember where to go. How far does this go? It's just that down here. Ah, the bee weapon. I believe you get that one from Wickerman. Not the bees! Not the bees! Like that? That's what my enemies are saying. The enemies will soon die to bees. Oh, that's nice. So I think we've seen enough of this level. It's only more of that kind of difficulty. More Or that absurd kind of difficulty that makes no sense. Guys, so... Kinda. Kind of, yes. Also, what do you think of this sprite? Is it adorable? Look at how it blinks. Look at how Mega Pony blinks. Oh, right. The level speaks for itself, really. It's a mess. It also completely baffles me that even with the auto-tiler, there still manages to be a level with random fake tiles. It's called Cardinal Man, but where are the cardinals? This was fun until I figured out Thanks, Bori. This is fun until I figured out you can actually reach everything. No. Quirky, inconsistent, incomprehensible, nonsensical track. I can only imagine. Well, there was an attempt. I sort of like the fight with the metal potent, but the majority of the level is empty. I like the sense of humor, and I hope the people who made these levels have sense of humor too. Because if they keep trying to make new levels, keep trying to make levels, and keep striving for good things, they'll eventually make good levels. You probably could. You probably could make better levels than those last two. Doing over here? Ah, so that was for a key. Right. Yeah, it's not fantastic. No, please! Now I have to get the key all over again. Kill me. No! I definitely pressed the jump button. Like I said, I'm an amateur at Mega Man. I've sort of 100%ed this game before. I've gotten I've gotten most of the Noble Nickels. And I've also, I've gotten most of the Noble Nickels, and I've also gotten all of the energy elements the game has to offer. And I've also Zero. Okay, I got it. That's one green nickel. Green star, rather. There's another green star. How on earth do you expect me to get that? Oh, we made it! Oh, camera pop. Oh, messed that up. Messed that up again. We did it! So, Pori, I have a question for you. An actually important question. Do you want me to play the tiers out of order? Do you want me to play them backwards? Or do you want me to play them forwards, starting with this tier? Alright, we'll start with the worst and work our way up. They say that if you stare into the abyss long enough, it stares back. I've been here for 6 days and nothing's happened. But I'm not giving up yet, any day now. This little area here is a reference to MaGMML2. In MaGMML2, there was a stage that was literally just a long drop to the end, to the energy element. That's literally all it was. It couldn't even be considered a level, really. It was just a hallway. Well, us judges each got the levels in a random order, and this is the very first level I judged. Starting things off with a bang, huh? It's got the endless staircase music, yeah, it's pretty cool. The creators of this game, this contest, rather, put a lot of effort into it, and so did the people who made the levels. Well, most of the people. I'm sure a lot of people put a lot of effort into these levels. Well, that level was over before it started, or was finished. Kinda sad. I had some fun going through what parts of this stage do exist. The rooms got a bit repetitive after a while, but the initial ideas are there. I would like to see a complete version of this stage. I think Ace Spark has a good sense of humor. So this is a level. Oh, well, I had to die to get that, but that's fine. What is this? Oh, there's the first noble nipple. Wow, that was cool. By the way, the extra lives in this game don't give you an extra life. The extra lives in this game don't give you extra life. They only give you instant health. Hi, it's Pyro. This level didn't have an exit when submitted, so... End! The fall. Yes, I have beaten all the screens in this level, all 3 of them. Okay then. Started out pretty decently, but afterwards it just kind of fell apart. What happened? As for the part that lives up to the level's name, I feel like the X indicator should have been introduced in a safer environment before the long drop, as I didn't know what to interpret them as until I was halfway through the fall. The part after I can barely take seriously due to its background messages and overall messy structure. Kind of a shame. This level could have been much better. To put it simply, it sucks. It's not frustrating or anything, but it's very poorly done. The level design feels random, and the stage layout isn't any better. In addition, I don't appreciate the random messages using tiles, and even the graphics are lackluster. And this stage just had to use default music. Anyway, it's not a stage I like, and much more effort could have been put into it. No, you were not seeing things. What? Someone submitted that. We're not even done yet. Run. So those aren't death, as you might expect. You'd expect they'd be death, but they're not at all death. Free health. Why they forgot to paint this one. I didn't see that, but yeah. That's cool. Yeah, they could have used an arrow. The level design in this one is not good. Yeah, thank God. That would have been horrible if it was a soft lock. Ancient Tomb. So this one is kind of a ripoff. It's basically just an actual level from one of the games, but slightly edited. It's a blatant edit of Pharaoh Man stage. The beginning part is kind of different, and honestly, I kind of like it more than the original level, because the original was just flat and lots of annoying scorpions, but here there's some variety. After that, the level doesn't even try to hide the fact that it's a blatant edit, where there's literally just the original section, but with like one random out-of-place enemy added. There's just a mini-boss fight with Tama out of nowhere. There's like one random Rebakun added in that final stretch, and that's all that changes. Yeah. This was basically a Pharaoh Man stage with a few more enemies, nothing else. The fact that there was no Pharaoh Man boss at the end only made it more disappointing. Come on, man, that boss was even included in the dev kit. Also, one of the hovers failed to spawn, and I had to use Rush Jet. But I'm not sure if that's your fault or the game's. While this stage is fun to play, I don't believe that much of it was actually original, since it's basically a less interesting version of Pharaoh Man's stage. I don't really have anything to add here, to be honest. That basically sums it up. When I play a level, I'm expecting something new and original, not a blatant duplicate of an existing dev kit stage. So I'm refusing to judge this level. Enjoy the 0 points. A dev kit level. I'll steal it! No one will ever know! Oh, so that's death. Okay. I think there's a green star under the sand somewhere. No, I'm soaking up hits. Well, that was death. Oh well, I can do it better this time. Too impatient. So yeah, this is basically just a death kit ripoff. I can't believe that just happened. Absent chat indeed. I ran right into that. I'm gonna need something to eat soon. I'm hungry. I almost missed that jump. Nope. I missed. I messed that up. I know how to get that though. There we go, got the green star. That's all that mattered. All that mattered was I got the green star. I'm just... Oh, fuck. I'm not going to get all the green stars, but I'm going to try to get as many of them as I can. Just sort of as an extra challenge sort of thing, since I've already played all these levels before. To completion. I'm glad the devs went to the extra trouble to add a second collectible like in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Just adding another collectible at the very end. Tier 1 boss, Milk. So, there is something very interesting about this boss. If you beat this boss first, another boss changes. But if you beat that boss first, this boss changes. Or no, wait, if you beat this boss first, text that you experience later on changes to something else. But if you beat the other boss first, this boss changes into something else. Normally this is just milk, but if you beat Nezuman, this turns into strawberry milk. Sure, maybe some bugs. What is even going on? What is going on here even? What? I'm actually not sure. That might be intentional, yeah. But I believe milk is a reference to another fan game. Or to a comic or something, I don't remember what. But it's actually supposed to be a glass of milk. If you look closely, you can see the differences in textures. Oh, I'm out. Easy peasy. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm preparing dinner for myself. Also, I have a question for you. Do you want to watch Dragon Prince tonight? Or nah? Nay. Yay or nay? Worst nays. There's tier 5. Alright, sounds good. Looking forward to it. There's tier 3? Oh, right. I really like the amount of effort the devs went into with this game. Not only is there a lot of optional stuff and a lot of different text boxes and stuff, there's also just the enjoyableness of all the cheats, like the randomizers, the various ways to play the game differently. I wish more games had that kind of system. Jak 2 and Jak 3 had something similar, especially Jak 3 and Jak Last Frontier. They had a thing where the game played differently depending on what you unlocked and such. Where is tier 5? I mean tier 2. Am I missing something obvious? Keep going right. Oh, I passed it a couple times. Oh, there it is. Right, here's tier 2. It's the sewer. I feel like I'm getting a bit of deja vu here. This time it seems fancier, though. I'm pretty sure that there are about as many bosses in this level as there are enemies. Like, all the screens in the level are completely featureless empty rooms. And then the occasional unmodified engine boss. What? Can it be? Do my eyes deceive me? Volt! Como so? Quint! Folks, we got the overused dev kit boss Royal Flush. I'll read some of the judge commentary, but not all of it. I especially love Acebark's comments, especially in the beginning. No! I want the green star. It shall be mine. My green stars. Okay, I'll do all the judge comments in that case. I'll do them after I beat each level. After I beat each level, I'll do the judge comments. Sound good? Whoa, that was close. So here's Voltman from Mega Man DOS. I'm gonna die. I died. Okay, cool. There we go. There's also an optional boss fight with a bunch of Voltmans, if I remember correctly. Oh, right, that's Death. What's Komoso Man need to do again? Komoso. That's not it. This boss is actually really easy to avoid. I should probably be playing smart instead of trying to brute force it. There we go. This machine here. That machine there that I was using is a Sakugarne, but it's a different sprite from the one normally. But the sprite is the sprite is a reference to Applejack's machine in the Mega Pony fan game. Just jump on Quint a few times, it's fine. You could have done a lot better with the graphics instead of just using black backgrounds. The actual level is only about 40 seconds long, minus the bosses. I don't think I can give many points for a boss rush set using just vanilla assets. The sections in between the bosses don't feel very planned or consistent either, but more like filler areas to bridge gaps between the bosses. This level also lacked testing, as one of the respawn points behave weirdly due to the boss door above it. Normally I like the idea of a stage like this, but this one just isn't that good. The level design is awful. Most of the level is either horribly enemy placement, long empty sections, or other fairly serious stage layout issues. Also, there's a pretty serious camera glitch here. Anyway, there's nothing else I can say here. It could have been much, much better. Honestly, this is probably the cleanest sewer I've ever seen. The water is at least an okay color. Airflow Hubble, Gariri's least favorite. So, I'm probably not doing this one. Yeah, I'm not doing this one. But I'm gonna give you a taste of what this level is all about. I'm actually doing a lot better at this stage than I did last time I played this. There we go. I enjoyed this game also because it uses a lot of utility, It uses a lot of utility powers, abilities. Oh, okay. So the checkpoint is all the way back here. The only reason why this level is nearly tolerable is because I have the, what was it called? I have the optional power-up that allows me to get more, life energy from the enemies I kill. Without that, this level would be a lot harder because I'd barely be getting anything at all. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I just gotta do it and hope for the best, it seems. These Chopper Joes are really pissing me off. No, I'm almost dead. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, so it's a bunch of enemy spam, a lot of death, a lot of easy death, and it's just really difficult. It's not one I'm very fond of at all, because it's so difficult. So let's do the reviews. A very, very meh level. A lot of the enemies placed here can be easily avoided, and there's large chunks of level where every challenge is just laughably skippable. There's this long vertical drop with a bunch of enemies that you can just find a hole in near the top and fall down the entire shaft and never get hit. There's a room with like 3 crystal joes that you can just get out of before they can fire. There's a metal gumball machine mini-boss that you can just snipe with a ladder with no danger whatsoever. The only real parts of the level that are threatening are the parts that are really obnoxious. The beginning part with the Apache Joes and the part with the Guts lifts. Apache Joe part speaks for itself, and the Guts lift parts just has annoying jumps due to lyrics and weirdly placed drop lines. The fan part at the end is okay, then there's a Quint fight and then the level's over. Yeah. This level was badly designed all the way through. At the beginning you put like 3 Copter Joes, one of those missile guys, a line of mechs, and 2 of those laser shooting spacewalkers. It's all too much and basically requires weapons, which isn't good. During the indoor portion, it's too hard to see the split in the Gutsman platform lines. It's not very visible. There are blue squares instead of black ones, and when you're focusing on avoiding enemy attacks. Most of the fans weren't attached to any other blocks and looked out of place. The screen scrolls in the Quint boss fight because the stop scroll objects weren't placed correctly. Honestly, I don't think this level was designed with other players in mind. My advice to you would be to have other people test your level before you submit it. I'm having serious issues taking this level seriously in any regard. It's so random, inconsistent, and messy. In some section, it doesn't even work properly with, for instance, the Met dispenser despawning when you leave and re-enter the screen. Every element in this level looks to be placed with so little thought to gameplay that I have to wonder whether it was even tested at all. Enemies repeatedly respawn in places where you have to take a moment and to concentrate. Many obstacles are unfairly placed, others are completely useless. There's no flow, no coherency, and overall I just didn't have fun playing through this stage. Is this level even finished? I'm asking this because this level design is awful. The amount of enemies there is ridiculous, and they have to be perfectly placed in order to make the experience as uncomfortable as possible. Other than that, most of the level is extremely empty, with overly long passages and dead ends, not to mention the forced weapon usage, as well as cases where weapon usage is optional, but will let you skip over painful sections. Also, there's a severe lack of checkpoints. Why did this level need to happen? Even the most basic stuff like graphics seem to go downhill after a few screens. Not to mention the level is a bit buggy. This is an infuriating level to play through, and it could have been much, much better. This next case is a bit weird. Brought in from a festival or some such. I am the Queen of France! The only coherent words we got were a checkpoint and Apache Joe. So do we call a doctor or a vet? Yeah, it's very tough. This next one is Yggdrasil. It had a lot of good ideas. A lot of good ideas. But absolutely horrible execution. Alright, so if you wanted to keep up with the narrative there, you're shit out of luck. Because it's not happening. The only way you're keeping up with that is if it's recorded and you pause the video. Oh, right, that's right. I forgot about that. Force beams out the ass. This level did have a ton of good ideas, and it tried to do something really incredible. It's just unfortunate that every single bit of the execution was off. I wish this person would try to do this again. I hope this person tried to enter into the MaGMML2 contest, because I think they have a lot of potential. They clearly put a lot of effort into this level, into this stage. Oh, right! I have to go around. I have to screen wrap. And the checkpoints are rough. What's cool is this stage has slopes, which isn't something you see very often. So this is a thing. So that's not a screen wrap, that's death. So I'm sure you got the idea of what that's like already. Oh right, we're at the checkpoint now. No! There's absolutely no telegraphing. Whoops. That wasn't fast enough. There are also little secrets in this. Might as well get that while I'm here. Cool. And now it's a bullet hell. So we can either go on the blue path or start going on the pink path. Right, that's not a safe drop down. There's that CG down there. So this level really is like traversing a datascape. kill me. The person really did try really hard and put a lot of effort into this. It's just a shame that all the ideas were executed poorly. Yep, the game is already killing me. You're right, Pori. No, please! Please! No! No. Okay, this is my last try. Even the bosses were amazing ideas. And it's kind of tragic how the storyline is kind of tragic, because ultimately it turns out that you're fighting the very people who are just trying to get out and probably save the world. So you can either go to the green section, or you can go to the more blue section, or whatever. So this level is really huge. A lot of effort was put into it. Whatever you are, you're not stopping me from my work. On guard. So there's no hit detection collision. He does a lot of damage with his sword. But that's this level. It's not impossible by any means, it's just really difficult, and it's not incredibly fun unless you enjoy heavily difficult things. There's also a section that's more bullet hell, and I think there's also a section that revolves around spike pits, spike traps. So you have force beams, you have spike pits, and you also have enemy spam. Why? I'm going to be honest, what did I just play? No one is going to be able to beat this without dying several times unless they've already memorized this stage. The force beam sections were cheap, and there was nothing showing where the lasers would come from. Some of the Yoku block sections were cool, but there was a jump in one of them that required Rush Jet or Super Arrow to get across. The enemies flood the screen with projectiles, and you're almost guaranteed to get hit by them unless you know where they all are. In some sections, there are instant warps and pits next to each other with no distinction between the two. This is all very unfortunate because the stage is creative and looks really cool. You have to design your levels with other players in mind. Usually in my reviews, if a level fails at something, I try to isolate this point of failure and give feedback and ideas on how to iron it out to make the level better. In this review, I will omit the latter part because if all of the level's issues were ironed out, the level would be a completely different level. This level's issues basically boil down to fundamental principles of game design, and it manages to fail in terms of clarity, fairness, difficulty curve, guidance, boss design, and consistency alike. This level basically asks the player to fully understand how the level is laid out, where every trap lies, how to deal with the incredibly powerful and spamming enemies, and how to fight each of the 3 bosses and in which order to fight them before they even start playing. I'm trying hard to find a redeemable aspect of this level, and I'm sorry, but I can't find one. Yeah, it was really harsh. I feel really bad for the person who made this level because they had a lot of good ideas and they tried for their very first time or whatever, but they just didn't do it properly. I'm hoping they re-entered into MaGMML2 because I think they could do some really good things if they try hard and they make another attempt, taking the advice they got from here. And they tried to do playtesting and stuff. Okay, so there's just so much wrong with this level. Let's start with the basics. The boss sprites are bad, and their designs remind me of very bad OCs. Also, their dialogue is hard to read and scrolls way too fast. Then the level itself isn't even that good. In fact, far from it. The Wahoo blocks and quick lasers are often unpredictable and hard to get through. The placement of overpowered enemies is also absolutely awful. Not to mention the boss fights are cheap and random. Then comes the main problem. This level is extremely buggy. I'm often not even sure where the collisions are. The whole warp to the other side of the screen thing is hardly working, and there are plenty of graphical bugs. I honestly can't say anything else. I like the music choices, but it's just so bad. That was among the least enjoyable Mega Man experiences I have ever had. Worse than half the nonsense zero effort from hacks of Rockman 2. More unplayable than those garbage mobile phone ports. More annoying than the Eponistar OVA. And yes, worse than X7 and its stupid face. I would gladly fight Flame Hyenard again and again with full sound rather than play this stage again. Hell, I'd happily go through X7 with all the sound replaced with Flame Hyenard vocal cues. My friends, any Let's Players, if you're going to skip any level in this contest, make it this one. I cannot understate how unfun this stage was. I was stuck in this level for over an hour on my first passes, and I hated every minute of it. Yeah, Flame Hyenard. Burn to the ground! Burn to the ground! Are you ready, kids? Settle in. This is the long one. This level does not start off well. We get walls of text, I know, sorry, from 3 random characters that speed by so quickly the player does not have a chance to read them. Going up with the blue segment, we have quickman lasers. The fact that they're introduced safely seems like a positive. Wait a few seconds though, and on the screen with the Sniper Joe though, and suddenly lasers! There is no indication at all that this is going to be dangerous, especially since there is a newly introduced enemy in this room that will stump the player the first time they see it. Home to this stage is an original warping gimmick, and at first the rules seem obvious. Go off the edge of the screen and you'll warp to the other side. This is a lovely idea, but it turns out that there are no rules to this gimmick at all. The rules to this thing change between rooms. Sometimes you can walk into somewhere complete innocuous and you'll warp elsewhere. Sometimes logical spots for warps don't have them. Outside of trial and error, there's nowhere you'll end up with this gimmick. No way to tell you where you'll end up with this gimmick, and whether or not you'll be led to a pit. I haven't even mentioned the enemy set yet. They're so bad. We are not playing Toho. Mega Man actually has a huge hitbox, and more to the point, bullet hell shoot-em-ups games actually have patterns to the masses of projectiles, not just total RNG like this. I eventually reached the first of 3 bosses. The boss with the sword. Its damage output is nuts. It can and will pull off attacks when it feels like it with little to no warning, and it's completely invincible whilst making these attacks. The only good option to beating him is to use his weakness. He is so far off the power scale that Buster Only is practically unbeatable. That was 1 route of 3. Oh no. The green route uses Wahoo blocks. The main issue with this route is the sheer number of traps and gotcha moments placed along the screens, usually on long horizontal corridors. Outside of trial and error, it is impossible to gauge where you are supposed to jump to next, since often the platform you are on vanishes just as the one you are supposed to jump on appears. If this is the first route you go to, then this route also introduces you to the screen wrapping gimmick in a manner that is completely at odds with sensible gimmick introduction. You are in the middle of crossing a Wahoo block and have to just hope something saves you from falling into a pit of spikes. This might be a good time to state this. It is really difficult to tell what is and isn't a spike in this level, and as nifty as the level looks at first, it is incredibly hard to tell where is solid at a glance, thanks to the isometric pattern. As we reach the boss of this area, another major issue becomes apparent. Bullet hell spam much? There does not seem to be any rhyme or reason behind this boss. It was rather dreadful, and this point it might be one of the worst submitted boss fights in the contest. Finally, there's the pink route, which might as well not exist. Many paths either have no gimmick other than awful enemy placement and bullets flying everywhere, or a poor man's version of the other routes. The boss of this section is the only tolerable one, barely. She is invincible for far too much of the battle and heals herself, but she's doable and at least the player is giving some warning before her attacks. Even if it isn't much, none of these bosses should turn up in the arena, so your stage is going to be memorable for the wrong reasons. But hey, at least people can say, oh yes, MaGMML2, that had that Yggdrasil stage. Man, I never want to see that level again. I'll be right back. That was one hell of a level. Poor guy. Or girl. I'm back. It's time for Mega Pony to do pony things. Pony. Thank you. Rush City. This level is not bad. It's actually kind of cool, even. It's not a good level by any means, but it's not a bad level either. I want those green stars. actually enjoy this level. Oh, that was an accident. Cool. Lack of checkpoints. Almost missed that jump. Ow. So we're definitely getting the energy element. Time to go back in. Oh, so by the way, I still have a crap ton of chocolate green peppermints. Green and brown peppermints are my favorite. I enjoy them over red peppermints. Green and red peppermints are also really good, delicious. I'm sucking on one of my peppermints right now. Yeah, they're super good. Oh my god, look at it! Look Mega Pony! Look at him! Or her! Look at how he just hangs over the thing. Oh, that was death. Absolutely adorable, you're right. Oh. I'm killing a pony. I'm killing horses. We made it! Oh, we got all 3 green nickels too, that's cool. I just noticed that. The level just feels very empty. Like, there's some ideas here, but there's not much going on in general. The only real difficult part is the part with bladers, and that's really only because bladers are hell to deal with. The wave bike section is sometimes unfair because Ryder Joes can surprise you out of nowhere and knock you into pits. Other than that, there's not much happening. I guess there's a tiny bit of difficulty curve, but the level seems so sparse that I feel like I'm just grasping at straws. I wish there was just more in general here. This level didn't feel like much effort was put into it. I basically flew over an empty section with Rush Jet. You actually meant to jump down, but it looked like a pit. Looks like a pit, so I flew over it. It was mostly flat with some Crystal Joes. Fell down 2 screens, fought some enemies, and that was it. In the optional wave bike section, there's no indication whatsoever that those gray blocks actually kill you. This level was kinda all over before it started, and sadly it didn't really have any clear direction. The challenges presented are janky and seem unfinished, and the optional bonus section that ends in a not so optional exit is something that could have been easily made the main gimmick of the level. This level needed both more focus and more testing to be substantial in any way, unfortunately. It could have been better. The level design is pretty bad, with all the enemies being extremely unpredictable, one jump being overly precise, and the wave bike section being highly unfair with ridiculous enemy placement. Also, the visuals are pretty bad. Other than that, there's just nothing interesting to say here. It's a pretty bland level. It comes to something with bare minimums applied to enemy layouts. This is done here. For such a generic level, that might just be the worst tile set selection you could have gone for. I'm sure not even the game this is taken from looked this boring. Duke Nukem, right? Nothing really happens in this stage. There is a wave bike section at the end, which was alright, and a decent enough challenge, just enough to wake the player up. Even this is bungled a bit. Why do the spikes here look like generic blocks? This is just confusing. There is also the most laughably poor attempt at a boss fight I've ever seen here. Worse enemy type to select for your endgame, considering there were actual bosses in the dev kit and even much better mid-bosses. I really think you should have just made the wave bike segment the actual endgame, and not tried to make it optional, because now players will have to go through your stage twice just to pick up both elements with nothing changing in between. Yeah, I know this level was fairly poor and very dull. Also, Pori. Polybius is in this game. The Polybius arcade system is in this game. They told me that there'd be treasure down here, but I've spent hours here on nothing. I agree, it's very nice. Ugh, I can't believe the only place in the festival with enough water for me to visit is a sewer. This sucks! I'm loving this festival, although when I come to this area of the festival, I start feeling all ill for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on why. I convey to you now a particular message of which pertains to me acknowledging the existence of one who has come into close proximity of me as to be able to communicate effectively. Later's our hell. So 1 energy element, 3 noble nickels, and 3 green stars. I like this music. This is my jam. One of my jams. Elecman's stage theme was really good. It was a super banger. I should look up Elecman theme remixes after I'm done here with this stream. I really love how Mega Pony uses the wire adapter from his or her tail. So, you can get a costume if you get yourself crushed by these crushers. It's the Me IRL costume. What the hell? Was that ladder a fake? You can get the Me IRL costume, which is a reference to the MaGMML Discord server. That is the second time I have died by that. Oh, died. There's a secret in this stage too, if I'm apparently, but I don't remember where it is. Gigavolt. Ah, Mega Man. Thank you for coming here. This wily bodies took over my base and I couldn't do a thing. If you beat him, he will drop the cord to my power supply. This level is designed extremely bizarrely. It goes all over the place with what it actually wants to use in the level. The only things that seem to stay consistent are the Sheepman and Elecman blocks. I don't think there's more than 2 of any enemy in the whole level. Spawners don't count, you dip. Some of the enemy placement honestly baffles me. There's a crazy cannon near the beginning that you can just snipe from afar with no danger. There are literally shield attackers that you just are out of your reach and just hit a wall you'll never get to and turn around and respawn. The list goes on. Really, the only threatening enemy challenge was the one with the Sniper Joan Doc Bronze. That just felt more unfair and dumb than actually challenging. There are some okay challenges with the Sheepman platforms, but the setups are far from interesting. It's just a really confusing and weird level overall. It also reeks of lack of testing because there's a Mega Man 10 crusher that crashes the game somehow right after you encounter it, and I had to move it myself to make the level beatable. I don't know, man. This level is just so broken. The biggest example is the checkpoint in the Snaky room. The Snaky will still be on the screen when you respawn, and will be able to shoot the player, making it harder to get to the ladder. The whole level really felt like it was tested with the weapons, as a lot of rooms were hard to get through without using Super Arrow or Wire Adapter to get to certain areas. This stage confuses me the longer I stay in it, to be honest. The theme of using the disappearing blocks is hinted at, but they often take a backseat to random enemy encounters, often with an amount of enemies too large to be healthy in any capacity. There's a part at the start of the level where it looks like going left is the only way to go, but only leads to a wall, rendering all enemies in that room useless. The final corridor is completely empty, leading me to believe it was left unfinished. There's a broken ladder near the end of the stage, and the boss room expects the player to read the message before Boltman is defeated, but any sane player will take care of the boss first. This level is all over the place, and I didn't find it to be at all that enjoyable, sorry. I just don't see anything that can potentially be interesting in this stage. The concept in general is pretty flawed, as it's just a generic level painted in the Elecman stage. The biggest issue, in my opinion, is the level design, which, depending on the section, is either filled with poorly placed obstacles, empty and absolutely boring, or happens to be that one area where there are so many spawning enemies and obstacles that it's practically impossible to avoid them without taking damage. At least the music choice was fine, but I can't think of anything else that's positive. This is, at its heart, an incredibly average stage, because nothing about the ideas and layout here is necessarily bad in any way. Some things are used okay, weird enemy selection, every so often there's good idea here. This is let down by its horrifically lazy execution. So you're taking an already average stage and making it worse. Was there any playtesting? I came across a ton of errors that even a first playthrough of the stage would catch. There's misplaced and missing collision blocks. For example, there's a very obvious non-functional ladder that will kill the player if they tried to use it. Overlapping sheepman blocks, and frankly, I'm not entirely sure the Gutsman lift Noble Nickel is even possible without Rush Super Arrow, despite looking like it should be. There is a screen where an invisible block stops you from proceeding, unless you slide underneath said invisible block. Fixed post-judging. And hell, one of the jumps would be borderline impossible except for the collision detection not being present where there logically should be. Your checkpoint placement is bizarre, the player spawns next to a mini-boss, the layout makes the player waste time, enemies despawn themselves on static screens, gimmicks show up once and are never used again, and for some weird reason you stuck the barriers from Fossman's level in the most inappropriate place you could put them. Final point, that has got to be the worst possible way you could implement a fan robot master. I know you don't have to know how to code to enter this, but surely it's possible to at least replace Voltman's graphics. If you wanted a cameo that badly, he needed to be placed before the boss fight, because no one in their right mind is going to talk to him in the middle of a fight with Voltman, which the text seems to indicate was the intention. This isn't the worst level ever, but it might very well be the laziest. Put a bit more effort in. This will be the last one for tonight. Hope you don't mind, Corey. Then we can do, some Dragon Prince. Alright, sounds good. No! I don't know why I'm collecting, bolts, but I am. It's not like I really need them. Wow, I completely messed that up. And how, pray tell, am I supposed to get that? I could have just used the Mega Buster, but I decided not to. Okay, we got all the green stars. Feels incredibly empty, and the ideas just seem randomly thrown down. There's no real coherent theme, it's just rooms of stuff. Sometimes there's just like one easily dodged enemy for a whole screen with absolutely nothing else happening. Then the level just catches you off guard sometimes by actual forced hits. I like Man Brock Room. And one really annoying part I just cheesed with Dual Satellite, 2 new Shotmans, and Sniper Joes. Other than that, there's not much going on. A lot of the setups are extremely basic and don't really do anything new. The Mecha Dragon fight at the end doesn't even have a pit, which kind of destroys the whole point of the boss. It's a really weird level. So I feel that the game really starts getting good around Tier 3, but I enjoy the bad levels too. The less good levels, I should say. The lower quality levels. I enjoy the lower quality levels too in a weird way. First of all, you didn't change the music. Why? Ahem. Anyway, this was a weird level. The tile set wasn't used very well, and the whole thing just felt strange and without a real theme. At least there appeared to be some effort put in it. This level starts out decently, but quickly loses its focus and starts throwing the player into unfair scenarios which force them to take a hit. As the level goes on, it starts using elements without proper introductions, and in tricky scenarios. This level's boss fight was, from my experience, less difficult than getting through the section after the player exits the water. Overall, this level's main issue is its lack of a general theme that could have been used to create setups and situations, and create mutations of those to keep the player excited. What Sturgeon's Law suggests? And yeah, there are, I think, 9 tiers as well as a Tier X. So, there are a lot of good levels. I'm not a huge fan of this stage. Most of it just feels boring and empty. It uses default music and some sections are atrociously unfair. I don't really know what else to say. There's nothing interesting at all about this level. First impressions are not good. Please replace the default song. That might have been the worst tileset section possible for a full-on level. MaGMML2 Wily 5 is a boss rush stage. It wasn't built for an entire platforming level. There's nothing really good about this. What few gimmicks are there are used to the bare minimum implementation, with like one exception. The final set of Sheepman blocks provide mild peril. There are some major flaws in this stage, though that knock its score down too. Too much force damage, pits are rarely designed as pits, enemies placed right next to screen transitions. It is fairly clear this is a first draft of a level. Fortunately, the level isn't broken or anything, but it's still pretty bad. Lastly, you know making a dev kit boss easier than its original incarnation sort of defeats the point of using a dev kit boss. This water is rather soiled. Who could be so uncouth as to let this place reach such squalor? He can tell me Sturgeon's Law in a second. I'm gonna stop for now. See y'all later. Exactly, Pori. It's a sewer. You should expect this kind of thing.